These are 5 project management myths that are completely false and you should not fall for. As we tear down the walls for these myths, just remember this quote: where there are projects, there are always people who need to lead them. Now, the first myth is that robots and artificial intelligence will take over the jobs of project managers. Do you think that robots will take over our jobs in the future? Drop a comment down below with what you think. Let's engage and let's share that with our community. This is a very hot and just a very spicy one to discuss today, and a myth that I want to address. Today, at this point in time, this myth is not true. So if you've been scared or if you've been intimidated by the rise of AI and ChatGPT, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Right now, do you see physical robots doing the work of business professionals like engineers, architects, data analysts, product managers, project managers, teachers, and just the list goes on? I personally have not seen physical robots doing our work. It is true that we live in a society where processes and tasks are being automated and they're continuously evolving. But right now, AI tools are just that. They are tools and they have not replaced us as human beings. We are human and we add another dimension to communicating, leading people, navigating complexities. They're not just tied to data, but the psychology, the social context with how teams work. And that's just something that AI does not deal with. So if you're collecting data and you're creating generic schedules, yeah, you might have seen this being done through different software tools, but a physical person needs to be there to input questions or prompts into the software to create those generic schedules and then to tweak and massage it to match what they're looking for. Now, in most cases, it's not going to match exactly what's going to be used for your project. You need to modify it based on your own understanding of the project, leveraging your background, your skill set, your experience, and the context of your organization. So from my experience, any kind of AI tools or software, these are meant to be tools that help make our job easier, not to do everything that a human brain does. It just streamlines simple tasks for us. As I mentioned with my quote earlier, projects are managed by people and people are the ones who are actually doing the work, not robots who don't have any emotions or feelings. Bottom line here, people work with people. Work is built upon communications and relationships with real human beings and not software. It's exactly what the Agile Manifesto says in its first line: individuals and interactions over processes and tools. As we go on into our second myth, make sure to smash that like button if you're getting any value out of today's video. Now, the second myth is that project management is just a bunch of paperwork, dotting your I's and crossing your T's. This is completely false. If you're a good project manager, then you know that our weight in gold is not about creating documents, Gantt charts, and fancy Excel spreadsheets. Our value is how we communicate with other people and lead our teams to drive successful outcomes. We think of how can we mitigate risks so we are successful. We're seen as leaders and we take full ownership of our work. Make no mistake about it. Regarding leadership, there's a really good quote from a book that I'm rereading this year, and it's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is an all-time classic self-development book that helps unlock your mindset so you believe you can accomplish anything you want in your life. Genuinely love this book. Now, there's a chapter here on organized planning, and inside of it, Napoleon Hill talks about the traits of a good leader. He says this: an efficient leader may, through his knowledge of his job and the magnetism of his personality, greatly increase the efficiency of others and induce them to render more service and better service. The words that stuck out to me here is that it's our personality combined with our knowledge that we can use to lead everyone to drive better results. Now, when I saw this quote, it made me reflect on my job as a project manager. In our profession, we get paid a pretty good salary because we're the ones steering the ship. It's our personality, our experiences, our skill set that we use to guide our team to accomplish these huge visions and these overarching goals. And it's all because we're the leaders who step in to make it happen. And these all impact huge business metrics. So you got increased revenue, increased number of products launched to market, or increased efficiencies in manufacturing. Just remember this, 90% of a project manager's job is communicating to other people, not documenting. Now, our third myth is that you need to have frequent meetings to make your project a success. In my past life as an engineer, I used to believe this myth, and boy was I wrong. When I made the switch to become an engineering project manager, I realized that great project managers, they know how to communicate and not rely on all these constant meetings if they're not productive and they don't give any value to the team. You can easily communicate information through a message, through Slack or Teams or through email. If your organization uses an entire online project management software, Jira, Confluence, Clearzin, or Workfront, you can collaborate online with those tools and not have to meet every day just to report a quote-unquote update. So many people call meetings a waste of time, and I personally am a huge proponent of skipping or not joining a meeting if I don't add any value to it. Just ask yourself one of these questions. If the answer is no, then why are you attending the meeting? And is it even necessary? First, what value am I contributing? Second, how is my feedback shaping the output of that discussion? And am I affected by any of those talking points? So I like to keep my meetings less than 30 minutes, and I use my discussions to drive the decisions with my team. They must involve actionable plans and set decisions. Otherwise, I cancel anything if they're not necessary, especially if it's just a simple update that you could get through messaging, email, or the online software tools. As we move on to our fourth myth, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Now, the next myth is that you are the boss as a project manager. Raise your hand if you ever thought that this was true. You know, I did before, and that was when I was a fresh graduate right out of college. But let me tell you something. Let's take a step back right here for 1 second. Just because you have the word manager in your title does not automatically give you authority. When you're a project manager, the people in your projects, they don't typically report up to you. So you are not their boss. They don't report up to you in the organization's chart. You have what I like to call indirect authority because you have to make sure that your projects are successful. The people on your project, well, of course, they're obligated to do everything needed to make the project successful. But it's up to you to be the leader who guides everyone to make sure the project's goals and all the objectives are accomplished. Each person that's on your team, they usually report up to a different manager. For example, an engineering manager, a quality assurance manager, supply chain manager, and the list goes on. So as project managers, we should work together with our team to collaborate. We shouldn't necessarily be issuing orders from a command and control management position, but more from a leadership approach. As Napoleon Hill says in his book, Think and Grow Rich, the competent leader requires no title to give him the respect of his followers. The man who makes too much over his title generally has little else to emphasize. So just because you don't have that formal authority, don't ever let that dissuade you because we are leaders by nature. Bottom line, the goal is for everyone on the team to work together towards one goal. Now for the fifth myth, you must get a certification in project management to get a job as a project manager. Let's make this interactive as possible. Is this a myth? Or is it a fact? Leave me a comment down below with what you think. Do you need a certification to get a job as a project manager? Leave your comment down below because this is a very hot topic that I'm quite sure so many of us have a lot of experience with, and I'd love to know what you think. Let's engage each other and let's share our opinions down below in the comments. Now, of course, if you're taking your PMP exam to land that six-figure salary, watch this video next to learn how to pass it on your first try, and I'll see you in the next video.